Hello viewers, welcome back to Hellenic TV and Table for Two. I believe this is season 2 now, Alex.
Season 2, yeah.
Been recommissioned, episode 2 of season 2. So fantastic to share our Sierra Leone and community news.
Definitely.
We've had very good responses from the community and we're going to continue. So, Alex, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well,
Good.
James.
I think our agenda today is Sierra Leone, latest activities, latest fund giving, and then there's been lots of community news, so we'll cover that today. So where would you like to start?
We'll start with our sponsor for today. There's a nursery, Canopy Nursery in Potters Bar. They've also got nurseries in Wembley Park, Shrewsbury, St Albans, but the Potters Bar one has donated a lot of stuff for Sierra Leone. I mentioned it last show.
This is a children's nursery, not a plant nursery.
Yeah, not a plant nursery.
Canopy Children's Nursery.
Yeah.
Go.
So the stuff they've donated has finally arrived at the nursery in Sierra Leone. There's a giant plastic caterpillar tube for the children to crawl through. There's a slide. I've seen a slide. I've seen a climbing frame. Also children's kitchen for indoors as well. And I've already seen videos of the kids playing with all this equipment, which is great to see. There's also toys, games, building blocks. Now, in Sierra Leone, building blocks aren't just used for building. What the teacher, Alexandro, did, he laid them out as an obstacle course for the kids as well, jumping over, because they're quite big.
Yep.
So he thinks outside the box. So the kids are using them in many ways, which is typical of Sierra Leone. They don't just use it for...
Use their resources for whatever they can. Yep.
Now, they've also donated lots of Wellington boots. Now, the Wellington boots are vital for the children, especially during the rainy season. The other option, they'll be wearing flip-flops or sandals. Now, if you're walking through mud or water or a puddle, you don't know if there's a rusty piece of metal there that cuts you, then there's the danger of sepsis and all sorts. Also, there's diseases you can catch. The fact they have the Wellington boots will keep them safe when they're walking to school and to home and to the shops.
Very good.
Also, there's a storage box if they sent. It was literally a lorry load of stuff which I didn't know about until it all arrived. Tricycles. Now the tricycles we've donated to some of the Zinc House kids because they will never in their life own a tricycle. Something so simple that this nursery was going to discard if they couldn't find someone to take them. Also coffee cups, mugs as well for the teachers to use, and school uniforms. So all these things came from the one from Canopy Children's Nursery, the Potters Bar branch, and it all because of our friend Wendy from Woodhouse College.
Wow.
She worked with Angie there. Brilliant. So she worked with Angie. Angie messaged her, do you know anyone who wants this equipment? The first person she thought of was me. Messaged me, and that was it. Then got the ball rolling, and now everything's arrived in Sierra Leone. And everyone is just so happy.
Do you always send this equipment on the same container shipments, or does everyone send it themselves?
There's a company called Leon Freight. They'll collect everything from my house, then they take it to their warehouse.
But this equipment didn't come to your house, did it?
No. This went direct because there was so much. Usually I just collect things from people, but this went directly to the shipping company. It saves a lot of hassle as well. So yeah, that's how that was done. And Leon Freight, I mean, they work wonders. The ships are often delayed now for some reason, but Leon Freight are always calling them and making sure everything does arrive safely.
Good.
Okay,
amazing.
Now more than news, and as well as that arrival, there's we've had a lot of medical equipment arrive, boxes of medicine, medical bags as well for the clinic there.
Yep.
There's also exercise books. I won't mention the name of the nursery, but a nursery was going to throw away over 1,000 brand new exercise books because they were changing the colour scheme. So the business manager of the nursery, or primary school actually, messaged me, would you like them? I said yes. So now we've got all these exercise books. In fact, they've arrived this week at Sierra Leone. And the kids there have to pay for everything they need. If you go to school, they don't give them exercise books. They have to pay them for them. So at least now they'll have a whole stack of books of their own to use, and also some primary school chairs. These mini chairs, 7 chairs. They're going to the actual Zinc House kids rather than the nursery, because the Zinc House kids, when they're outside where the houses are, there's nowhere to sit. Literally, they'll sit on rocks. They'll sit on a tin can. They'll sit on a piece of plastic. Now we have at least 7 chairs, so they'll have the children have a chair. And when I arrive there next year, we're going to do musical chairs,
Right, okay,
which would be funny. Would be fun in Sierra Leone. So yeah, so we've got all that stuff arriving now. Our biggest barrier is the funding, is the finance, because all this costs money. So once the charity is set up, we're still waiting for it to be registered. Then we can get some colleges on board that want to help, and then it'll help us and ease the strain on the rest of us as well.
Yep.
So that's the Sierra Leone news, and then we've got a whole bunch of community news,
okay.
Which we were involved with one of the things as well, which we'll mention.
Sure.
Now, the first thing was a Vlach christening in Bucharest.
Right.
So I went to Bucharest with Alexandra. It was a couple there, Romanian Vlachs.
Explain Vlach.
Vlach is they're a group of people who originated in northern Greece. The language is a mixture of Latin and Greek.
Yep.
But the language is, wherever they've moved to, the language has followed them.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
Right.
So you get Vlachs in Greece, you get Vlachs in Romania, you get them in former Yugoslavia, you get them all over the Balkans. So they're a group of people who have stayed together. Ethnically, they were Greek originally, and still are the ones living in Greece. The ones in Romania are ethnically Romanian, their passport, but they are Vlach, and you can't tell them otherwise. So yeah, very, very proud people.
Do you understand what they say?
No.
How much of it is Greek recognizable Greek?
It's very hard.
I think, you know what that reminds me of? There are many communities around the Mediterranean and Asia Minor that speak a version of Greek that's very close to Homer and Achilles and ancient Greek.
Yeah.
Right? And there's a lot of studies done that certain pockets, especially Pontic areas, where the Greek is actually closer to ancient Homeric Greek.
Probably.
So I bet if someone were to study Vlach, they would find more connections to ancient Greek than modern Greek, which is why we couldn't understand the Greek. Maybe.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, even they say the Cypriot is very close to ancient Greek. So is in southern Italy. There's an Greco-Italian-based language.
My parents have been there. I think 12 Apostles Church organised a trip there, and my parents went there. And there's a community that just about they could understand the Greek.
That I can understand their Greek more than the Vlach Greek as well.
I think we need to do an episode on the Greek language.
Oh yeah, that's definitely coming.
Definitely
coming. Okay,
right,
so we had the christening in Bucharest. Also, there was food, there was music. They had traditional Vlach dancing and dances. There was a dance group there as well. Absolutely amazing. I mean, the young people so proud. They're proud of their heritage, which I'm sure is missing in other societies and groups. There was a restaurant called Yucca. Went to a restaurant called Yucca, Yucka. They had quite a varied menu. The chef actually worked on one of the Greek islands, so it was like a tapas style menu. But you had something Japanese, something Greek, something Romanian. So quite a variety, but top quality food. And I was checking their website or their Facebook page. They do music nights and they do comedy nights.
Okay.
I don't know what Romanian comedy is like, but we might experience it one day.
Good.
But you wrote about something in Romania, the cemetery.
The cemetery. There's something called the Happy Cemetery in Romania. It was Alexandra's tip, actually. The cemetery, there's a guy that prepares tombstones for people who've passed away. He carves them, he paints them, and he basically tells the story of someone's life on the tombstone. So you go to this cemetery called the Happy Cemetery, and it looks so colourful, and it's a celebration of life. So you walk around, you can see someone's life, encapsulated in a tombstone. This is George. He spent his life in the taverna drinking whatever, and he was very friendly with other men's wives, that kind of thing. Or this is how this person died.
Yeah.
So it's almost like accepting death as being part of life, and happily, colourfully celebrating it.
Okay, that's a trip to be planned as well, I think.
That's definitely the Merry Cemetery. It's on my list of places to go.
Yeah, okay, well, I'll be there with you for that one,
We
James.
do a table for two on location.
Yeah, we keep planning those. They haven't happened yet, but
we'll see if Hellenic
they will do one day.
for that. Yeah.
Now, after the christening day, after we went up to the mountains,
Right.
went to Brashov, and there's a small village called Chernia.
Okay.
And it was. I read this. It was the first tourism village in Romania.
Okay.
It's either side of mountains. You have the valleys. You have the streams. The most beautiful and quiet place you can go to. You can walk for miles without seeing anyone when you're trekking through the mountains. Now we went for a trek through some of the land owned by Alexandra's father down into the valley. There was 2 horses. There was all this, and walking through the woods. Yeah. And then he pointed out there was some excrement, some bear poo basically,
yes.
And it was fresh. Now I'd have thought if you see fresh bear poo, you
avoid it.
You start walking very fast, but everyone just calmly walked past and went along. We didn't see any bears. Maybe for the
if
next
the bears
trip.
have just done the business, then they'll be rested and relaxed. They're not really anxious.
The old saying about the bears blah 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 in the woods. Yes, they
do.
They do. It's been proved. I didn't take a photo of that.
Thank you,
what do we do, nice
Alex, for that.
Yeah. So and also it's the home of Dracula's castle as well.
So this is Transylvania, is it? Is it near Transylvania?
We'll have to ask Alexandra that. Okay. That's for another show. But,
okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay. So then back to the UK. So we had our trip to Romania. And it is an amazing. It was my first time there as well. I preferred Brashov to Bucharest.
Okay.
But in Bucharest there was a shop. A high street shop that sold coffins. So you go and you buy a coffin from a shop as opposed to the way we do it through an undertaker.
Right.
So that was quite an interesting concept.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not one I don't think anyone would do in the UK.
Do you mean sizes? Yeah, small, medium,
size,
XL, XXL.
Yeah, that's
3XL.
We've got our size as well. Yeah. And then back home. So we had now the Theadira headquarters. They had their chapel repainted or redone.
Okay.
It was renovated.
Okay.
It was had a lot of repair needed for it, a lot of cracks, and they've changed the design slightly as well. So we went for the blessing. His Eminence was there, and it's the chapel of the Transfiguration of Christ the Saviour.
Right.
So Archbishop was there. We had Father Neophytou. Father Neophytou was instrumental, I think, in the design of the new chapel and the colour scheme and what have you. Now, when we went there, all the walls and the ceilings were white, pure white, because they're going to start painting
icons
gradually. But for a photographer, having white walls, white ceiling was beautiful because I got some very, very clear photos. Yeah. Now, the Koti choir was there. Have you heard of the Koti choir? Okay. It's the Christian Orthodox Theadira youth. Youth. It's the registered charity.
Okay.
Started off in Birmingham. They have their own choir. They chant in Greek and English.
Right.
And some amazing voices. You really have to hear them. In fact, I'll send you. I've got a video of it from.
Let's connect them with Father. I'm sure Father Joseph.
I thought he knows about them.
We should do some joint concerts.
They were there for one of the Christmas concerts last year.
Fine. Good.
At Agaderini.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you get to sing with them or chant with them,
that would be good.
You'll be amazed by them. So that was the blessing, and then obviously there'll be probably another big service once they have all the icons painted as well.
Good.
And they have regular Sunday services there. So there's a lot going on at the actual chapel.
Okay.
Now Byzantine Choir, I heard, have got something coming up 17th of November. This is your department.
Yes. So I'm part of that choir. So on the 17th of November, there's a concert coming up at the Penridge Suite in New Southgate. Arnos Grove, New Southgate. 7 o'clock on the Saturday, £10. We'll put the poster up for people to see. And that will be the first kind of in the new season of concerts.
Okay.
The choir's going into rehearsals now, imminently, so beginning of November, end of October, rehearsals. That will be the first concert, and then there will be Christmas carol type concerts like we do every year. Dates to be determined, watch this space, but the Penridge 17th of November will be the first one of a few. We've had the summer off, We've rested our voices, so now we're back for a new series of concerts.
Ready for action. So the one at the Penridge, how's that going to be done? Is it just, will there be a meal with it? Will there be...
I don't know.
Okay, you don't know yet.
It's £10. I imagine there'll be drinks and snacks.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a formal meal.
Yeah.
I think it's just a concert. Everyone knows the Penridge. It's easy to get to.
Yeah.
They've tried to keep the price low, £10. So it will be a concert, mixture of Byzantine and folk music, etc. Like we usually do. Yeah.
Okay. Since we're on the subject of music, we had Amalgama as well.
Yes. So the band Amalgama are making quite a name for themselves. They played the Clissold Arms
on the 12th
of October.
So,
Then they came to our church, which was St. Mandeleimon, on the 19th.
Yeah.
Very successful evening. It was organised by a new youth group in St. Mandeleimon. Currently they're calling themselves the Young Professionals, but they want to change that name.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the name is. The idea is to bring young people to the church. We've talked about this before in this programme. How do we attract Neolea? So one of the key members of our community, Maria Brogobio, who we've mentioned before, has pulled together a few young people. And we use the term young very loosely. But at least it gives a new flavour, a new atmosphere in the community. The event was very successful. About 110 people came. We collected money, obviously, from the entrance fee, but also we saved money, because the money was going to the church and causes, by making our own food. So rather than get caterers in like we normally do, everyone contributed a dish. My mum prepared some magaronha de funno.
Yeah, very nice too, thanks.
Etc. And many others did as well, a felia. So basically everyone mucked in, which is how it should be.
The old way,
The old way, the good way. And hopefully it'll be one of many. But I think everyone was very enthused. The music, obviously, with Amalgama was fantastic. And it's a nice addition to the community events. People like leaving their home on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday to see people and listen to some music. So it's a good excuse.
Well, I was going to say I was quite surprised how popular it was, but St. Mandeleimon have a group of people who would always support these events. No matter what the event is, they'll be there putting their hands in their pocket and just giving money and helping a worthy cause.
I think, and again, I think most of the communities and committees and women's groups, they like to help the community. It's part of the reason why we're Greek Orthodox.
So once that generation goes, what happens then?
Well,
James?
that's the thing. This is why this group is trying to set something up so that the next generation is taking roles. I mean, Archbishop His Eminence Nikitas tried to introduce professional people into committees, younger people into committees, women into committees, and some of the most progressive committees now have got 3 or 4 women on the committee, lawyers, solicitors, accountants, taking on the role of treasurer, secretary. You don't have to expect people that are retired to do this. Obviously they have more time, but if we start doing these kind of roles, then there's some succession.
Definitely.
Succession is the theme, I guess.
If you go out of London, though, it's so different. The church in Chester, I think, has 3 trustees, all women.
All women.
I was at St. Luke's the day after,
Birmingham.
in Birmingham, Holy Trinity and St. Luke's for their Yortia. There were 21 altar boys.
What?
21, from ages about 4 all the way up to 18.
It's amazing.
21 of them. I couldn't get a photo of all of them when they were all lined up. There were just so many of them, and they're there
regular.
This is regular. It's not just for the Yorti.
That's amazing.
Their church was packed, but their church is packed generally
all the time.
And it's a very young crowd as well. I've noticed they've got chanters, young female chanters, as part of the actual choir. So it's it's a very, very well established community. It's been there for a long time, but they've got such a young crowd. That's a beauty. I mean, Father Christo, probably half of them are his grandchildren.
Right.
He has a large family.
It all helps.
But they all love and respect him so much that they're there at the church with him and taking part.
I'd say they're well blessed with young people.
Definitely.
I mean, there's some churches we've been to, communities where you might have the mother-in-law of the priest chanting. Where was that? We did
Oh,
that
that
in
was
one
in
of
South End. Yeah.
Family, the priest's kids were in the Iero.
Yeah.
The priest's mother-in-law was chanting.
Yeah.
His wife was also chanting, I think. Was it his wife?
His wife had the small ones to look after, but his son was an altar server, I remember. Yeah, but that's...
So there's well-blessed communities. I think we want to get there. There's also other communities where you see somebody at the Pangari, then they're going up to chant, and then they're holding the Excepteria as well. So there's communities that, muck in.
Definitely, it's needed.
It's all good.
Yeah, and I bumped into our old friends, the Greek Outdoors, the caterers. So the catering,
lovely.
as with St Andrews
in
Birmingham,
right.
The Greek Outdoors was there again. The weather was very un-Greek outdoors. It was pouring with rain.
Right.
But you still had queues of people outside waiting to get their food. And they're very, 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 very popular company, actually, Greek Outdoors.
We've mentioned them before, but they're worth mentioning.
Definitely,
good.
Yeah. Okay. Now, on to the biggie. The Cypriot Wine Festival.
Cypriot Wine
and Business
Festival.
Expo. Okay. It was held at the Decorium. Brand new venue. It's something they haven't tried before because they've always had these massive arenas for the wine festival where everything's contained in that same room, but this was a banqueting hall,
right?
So they had to rethink. There was a ready-made stage as well,
right?
So they had to also extend the stage forward for dancers and so on and so forth.
Yep.
So it was a new thing. They trialed it. I think it was mostly a success.
Right.
A few things they might need to iron out for next time, but at least now they know what's needed. The stalls were in the main banqueting hall, but they had a room on the side where they had the children's things.
Okay.
They had Hellenic from Asteragia there.
Very good.
Entertaining the kids. They had the sweet shop. They had the local Greek schools and also St Andrew's Secondary School.
Yes.
They had a stand there. So their business manager Daniel, he came down.
Very good.
So and also they're building a new school at where they are now, but slightly further forward in New Southgate. So it must be a thriving school and a successful school for them to invest all that money. So it was good to see, especially the Greek schools being there. But the entertainment, there was the headlining was Eleftheria Eleftheriou.
Yes.
She was supporting Panos Kalidis.
Okay.
Now, usually when you get someone supporting the main singer, they're not as good, we'll say. She was brilliant. She's a fellow Cypriot as well. She kept the audience entertained. She walked amongst them singing Cypriot songs as well as Greek songs. Panos did the same. He joined the audience. They came off the stage and walked amongst the audience, which they do love that, especially when people are trying to take selfies and he's jumping in and what have you. So they were both very, very good entertainers, and they did a really good job. Really good job. Now we had some of our homegrown talents there. There was Elizabeth Chapman and Kat. Both have shows on LGR as well. Okay. They sing in English, they sing in Greek. Wow. Kat actually, she's a songwriter as well. They've both done stage, they've both done musicals. So they're very versatile singers. Very good. And it was good to see them both there together. You don't usually catch them at the same time, but luckily they were both free at the same time. The fact they both also represented LGR meant they were at the festival at the stall for LGR, so people got to speak to them as well. Very good. Which was a really, really nice touch. Now there was a relatively new singer, Eric Kleos. I say he's a new singer. He's new to the wine festival. He's quite a long-established singer. He's just trying to get that break where people will start buying his records. Yeah. Very, very talented man. He showcased his talent really well. So he was there for the first time at the wine festival. And then there was Eleni from Asteragia, who I mentioned before. She was on the stage at some point entertaining the children. In fact, she can just do an entire show by herself. Right. She's that talented. She's one of our national treasures. You know, she really is good. Excellent. Now a lot of youngsters. There was a Junior Andre. Do you know who he's the son of?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Peter Andre,
Yes.
obviously. We'll say that for those who don't know. Peter Andre. So he was there, singing all English songs. He could smell the food outside, so he kept mentioning the food outside.
Okay.
And then the person who runs the stall came and gave him some suvlaki and what have you. So they kind of got him involved with the festival as well as So that worked really well. Now there was a young guy, Theo Lucas. He's a Cypriot. He sang English songs, modern songs, but he also sang one particular Cypriot song, Halalindu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damelisha Damathkia. Yeah.
Okay.
So he sang that. So I enjoyed that because he added that Cypriotness to the Cypriot wine festival,
Got it.
which very few people did, and did. So he was very brave to do it as well. He's a young guy singing this old song, but he did really well. So I really enjoyed that.
Good.
Then there were some dancers, Live for Dancing. Now they're a dance group doing ballroom and Latin American.
Okay.
And Maria Kyriakou runs the school. This is part of a school. Now someone said to me before, they go, "What's ballroom dancing got to do with Cyprus?"
Right.
Now, if they'd met my late father, my late uncle Nistiforos, my auntie Marula, they'd have known that my father used to do ballroom dancing in Cyprus in his younger days.
Yeah.
My uncle Onisiforos, when we had weddings, he'd be doing a tango with his wife Margarita.
Yes.
Or Margita, she was Swedish, but they were doing a proper tango. So we're not all
That's right.
Zembekigo and Sisto and Susta. There's also the ballroom. I'm sure your dad can do a waltz.
Maybe not my dad, but sometimes you do see a couple at weddings that do like
and
proper
it's good to see. It's beautiful to see.
Absolutely, the movement is amazing.
My sister Christina did ballroom dancing as a child.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's good. It's all good for movement, posture, breathing.
Oh, definitely.
Excellent.
So that was live for dancing. Now the highlight of the evening for me was Harry Yoriyo.
Okay.
He's an 11-year-old boy, young man.
Yep.
I saw him the week before at a christening. So we finished the food. I went to take a few photos in the foyer, and then I heard what I thought was a CD from a musical.
Right.
So I went into the main area and saw this young boy with a microphone. I thought he's miming. He can't really be singing. And then I looked closer. He was singing, belting out this tune.
Okay. Live.
And even the waitresses and the waiters came out thinking it was a CD. It was actually amazing.
Okay.
So I went to the parents after and I said, "Look, would you mind if I can get him onto the wine festival? Can you please bring him in?" So I spoke to Andri Yoriyo, who's part of the entertainment committee. They got him in for that Sunday, and he wowed the entire audience. So here's a name to look out for, Harry Yoriyo.
You sound like you've discovered. You're his agent.
Well,
you've discovered Elvis Presley.
His agents
what was Elvis Presley's manager?
His agent's a
Colonel something.
Platinum.
Oh, he's already got one.
He's got an agent. But
late.
You know, if the thing is, we all need to promote our young talent. That's the thing.
I agree.
As Cypriot, we need to say, look, this is young kid. And he's belting out a tune just like anyone else, just like an adult. So now he also sang "I Want You Back," Jackson 5 song as well. So he wasn't just musicals; he showed his versatility. Yeah, so he was really good. Now, the main stalls. Now there was Taste of Cyprus.
Yep.
2 Taste of Cypruses.
Okay.
There was one in Waltham, based in Waltham Cross, a restaurant and caterers. They did the souvlakia, beautiful food. Then we had Taste of Cyprus in Palmer's Green, who is a bakery. So 2 totally different companies next to each other. Taste of Cyprus, beautiful food from both of them.
Very good.
There was a guy and his wife. So it was a Bayesian and Greek Cypriot mix. The couple, they've got Sweet and Delish, based in East Barnet. They do crepes, they do rolled ice cream, which is amazing to see them doing that, and waffles. But they've got the shop, and they also do the to do the events. Archway Sheet Metal Works obviously was their standard at the festival, and they supported the Zeke House kids so much.
Good.
And then obviously Hellenic TV was there, LGR was there, but the Cypriot Community Centre was there, based in Wood Green. Now, there's also Stelios Cafe within the centre. Now, they do far more. It's not just a community centre. They do far more. Do we have time for your quiz, James?
Go on then, quickly.
Okay, now, James, did you know that at the Cypriot Community Centre they have conference rooms?
Yep.
They have a theatre.
Yep.
They do the catering and banqueting. They do drop-in lunch club. This is all from their website, by the way. Yeah. Meals on Wheels.
Yeah.
They arrange as well, an advice and advocacy service and daycare. They have the cafe with Stelios as well. Now, Stelios, the cafe, he also does birthday parties, christenings. So it's not just a cafe, and they're open until the evening. They do free workout classes, Tai Chi. There's chair dance exercise. We haven't reached that stage yet, but there's chair dance exercise, and then there's line dancing. Which
I've seen that before.
Oh, have you? What, really?
Not at the centre, somewhere else. Yes,
I'd be interested to see what music they play for the line dancing. They do Zumba. They do the Kumon maths and English classes,
tutoring,
which I'm sure every child is dreading if I'm mentioning that. Jiu-Jitsu. They have Jiu-Jitsu. I haven't seen it, but I'd love to go along and see that. There's mothers and toddlers, Cypriot dancing lessons. There's yoga. There's drama classes. And there's the whole list is actually massive. So it's not just the community centre; they do far more than just all that. Yeah,
great contributions.
Yeah,
they do Tavli as well.
Actually, speaking of Tavli, when I was in St Luke's in Birmingham, after the service where the community met for their souvlaki and their food and their drink, there were men there playing Tavli. It's a proper community centre feel at St Luke's.
I know, good.
Yeah, no, it's great fun.
Thank you, Alex. That was an amazing
welcome,
whirlwind tour.
Yeah, there's a lot to
Thank
cover.
you, viewers. We've taken in the community events, and we'll see you again next time on Table for Two. Bye bye.
Thank you.